Alright, in this lecture, we're going to go ahead and add in all of our detail and values to our drawing. So just like we looked at each individual grid square and copied what was in that square in our photograph, we're going to do the same thing but with our values. So let's start with the eye again. So if we have a look at the eye, we'll notice that there's a little bit of a white spot or highlight within this black part of the eye. So let's go ahead and fill that in, but we want to make sure that we leave that little highlight out. So I'm laying down a piece of paper so I don't smudge any of this. Then I'll go ahead and start to fill that in. So first I'm going to kind of draw out the shape of that highlighted area so I make sure I don't draw within there or add any dark values. Like so, and then it's not necessarily one big large white area like this. So now I can go ahead and go in there and kind of add some darker values in there and make it look more like it does in the photograph. Alright, perfect. Now we can go ahead and move on to the next part of the eye. So there's like a white ring that goes around the pupil of the eye, so we want to include that. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a darker ring around the pupil of the eye, but we're going to leave out a little white space around the edge of that eye. And then as we come over to this area, the reflection continues over this, so we want to make sure we leave out a small area right there that we can use for our reflection. And then we'll go ahead and work a little bit more on that reflection so it looks more similar to what we have in our photograph. And then I'm also noticing on these edges of the white ring, it's a little bit darker and it's lighter on the top and the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and add in some darker values on both sides of our white ring. Then let's go ahead and move on to the orange part of the eye. So the orange part of the eye is going to be a lighter value, but it's still going to be darker than white. So let's go ahead and begin to fill that in with a mid-tone value. And I'm going to leave the top part a little bit lighter and the bottom part a little bit darker. Then I'm going to go ahead and start adding in some darker detail around the edge of that part of the eye. Alright, great. Then I'm noticing that right here it's a little bit darker and then it transitions into this lighter color because there's kind of a reflection up here on the top of the eye. And then down here it's a little bit darker also, right around there. So go ahead and darken that area in. Alright, perfect. Next, I'm going to go ahead and start working on the eyelid part. So the bird kind of has a